If the islands of the Seychelles were in a beauty pageant, you couldn't crown a winner. Ferrying between them, each is as spectacular as the next, while still standing out from its neighbour. So John Boynton Lee and Gabi Benedicte just kept falling in love with one port after the other.
So here we are in Pristine, second largest island in Seychelles, with quite an interesting history.
Yeah, so it used to be a very popular hideout for pirates back in the day, and word has it there's still treasure worth hundreds of millions of dollars buried somewhere. Not necessarily on this island, but maybe. So look out for some shiny things, because we might go back wealthy. Well, you can see why it's consistently in one of the top 10 beaches in the world.
Agreed. I mean, this sand is probably the softest sand I've ever felt in my life.
Actually, I don't even know why. I still got my shoes on. Yeah, the cool thing about Seychelles, people use the word untouched a lot because it's got that feeling. It's the least populated country in Africa. So wherever you go, even a popular beach like this, it feels like you got the place to yourself.
You know, after seeing this beach on shows like Top Billing and Tropica Island of Treasure, this has been a place to visit high on my bucket list. So it's honestly such a privilege to finally be here.
With no public buses, few rental cars and limited taxis on La Digue, it's a cyclist's dream.
How do you feel about a tandem bike?
I mean, I haven't seen a single tandem bike on the road. There must be a reason for that, but you know, let's do it. Ooh, that's not easy to balance. And I can't pedal independently. When you're pedaling, I'm
literally pedaling.
Okay.
While your feet are dangling.
Ooh. Okay, that's all right once you get going. There are so many islands in Seychelles, it's absolutely essential that you go island hopping and explore because they've all got their own little bit of unique character and charm and history. This is La Digue. There's lots to see and lots to do in limited time, and this is the best way to do it. Why are we feeling so out of sync with the pedaling? Are you standing or something?
Nope.
Once again, a lack of communication between man and woman.
So John was really feeling for the male and female tortoises of La Union Estate, who can live up to 200 years and have to put up with one another, not just for decades, but for centuries.
So this particular tortoise is about 89 years old.
And loves a neck tickle.
Yeah.
And this one's jealous. You can tell it's a male because the shell isn't smooth, the shell protrudes.
And behind us, we've got the biggest granite rock in La Digue.
A monolith, right?
That's the word.
The monolith, it is massive. It's like prehistoric almost.
I'm not a
like
geologist.
these animals. It's the perfect home for these animals, actually. You see how different it is, how smooth the shell is on the female.
Yeah, she also likes a neck scratch.
Yeah, really likes a neck scratch.
And she's 15 years old.
Yeah, a lot smaller than our grandpa.
I love it.
It's like me, when you tickle my neck, I just like go catatonic and lean forward. Yeah, there.
It works.
It's exactly the same thing.
After a sudden downpour, the sun came out, and they continued to Ansos d'Argent Beach.
Well, at least the weather cleared up just in time for us to see this beautiful beach, one of the most photographed in the world. You can see why. I think it's these rock formations formed over billions of years. These granite rocks, this whole island used to be underwater, and over time and erosion, they formed beautiful shapes. There's just so much to see in so little time.
And if they're looking a little bit more familiar to you, you might have spotted them in two famous films that were shot here, which is the John Crusoe.
No, Robinson Crusoe.
Robinson Crusoe.
Robinson Crusoe.
And my personal favorite, Castaway.
Castaway, Wilson.
Yes.
Wilson, a lot of that was shot here.
You know, with the busy lives that we lead back in South Africa, it's so important for us to take this time off to visit new places, new cultures, and really just immerse ourselves in the lay of the land.
Yeah, as you can see, we just want to take everything in. Even if we run out of time, we want to see absolutely everything with the limited amount of time we have. So life is short.
To kids around here, boats are their bicycles, and tour guide Mervyn Baton has explored every cove.
So actually, Staten Island was one of the first islands in the 70s where the first settlers who came to Seychelles lived on. And actually, Long Island, that used to be Alcatraz. You know the story of Alcatraz? Mm-hmm. That used to be the prison of Seychelles. Yeah. And for Moyenne, it was a British guy. Long time ago, he bought the island. And then when he passed away, he had one son, Brendan Grimshaw. So he gave the island, he passed along the island to his son. But his son was a man solo. He was our Robinson Crusoe in Seychelles. Now the island is protected now. It's a national park reserve. Because when he saw everybody was developing all the islands, building hotels, he didn't want that. He was a nature lover.
What goes for the uncrowded beaches applies equally to the reefs, So you can happily snorkel surrounded by sea life instead of an ocean of people.
What an amazing experience.
What a privilege to be able to snorkel in these waters.
And the condition is always so beautiful in Seychelles. It's so protected and the coral is always in such pristine condition. The visibility is always amazing. The fish life is abundant. You always see amazing fish.
Yeah, we saw a whole bunch of dories. That was so exciting.
Yeah, you were like a little mermaid ducking down to see the dories. Very exciting.
And one of the best parts of snorkeling here is the temperature of the water, from somebody who hates cold water.
Spoken like a true Cape Townian. They can go to the beach, but they can't swim. And here you don't want to get out of the water. It's like a bath.
One thing you and I have in common is when we go traveling, we don't like to sit at the hotel the whole day. We love to go out and explore and do like adventurous activities.
No, we definitely don't like an itinerary. Like it needs to be an adventure, it needs to be unplanned. Like today we were supposed to just go to Moyenne, that's what we thought.
Yeah.
But we stopped along the way for a snorkel. We're about to have a fish braai on an island that used to house convicts. So it's all that unexpected stuff that makes travel so exciting. You just got to go with the flow and enjoy it.
Incredible as it seems, the next showstopper in this island chain was uninhabited from the First World War until the 1960s. Then an English newspaper editor bought it and had a vision.
So today we are heading to Moyenne Island, which is the smallest national park in the world.
It's a tiny little island. It looks like a rainforest kind of emerging from the ocean. I think it's 400 meters long and 300 meters wide.
With a coastline less than 2 kilometers.
It's got a really special story behind it, something that's really close to our hearts as well. And apparently there's a little bit of treasure buried there possibly. So that's why we're headed there. Now, this spectacular viewpoint is only about 20 minutes walk from the entrance. You can do a circular path that covers the whole island in less than 40 minutes, and everything's really well labeled. You've got all the fauna and flora that's been labeled. There's so many cool things to see. There's viewpoints, there's historical things to go check out.
I'm most excited to go see where the pirates were buried.
Absolutely, yeah. There's a bunch of graves that we're busy searching for right now that's hopefully going to lead to some treasure. All right, here are the graves.
Of the pirates.
Yeah, this is such a cool story. So when Brendan Grimshaw bought the island, he discovered these 2 unmarked graves. Well, they were marked, but they were marked unhappily unknown. And as the story goes, it was 2 pirates that were killed by a famous pirate leader so that their souls could haunt the island and protect a treasure that was buried here.
And it just makes sense that Grimshaw and his father were buried right next to them so that they could protect the islands afterwards as well. The fact that he chose to be buried on the island and give it up as a nature reserve to protect the environment shows how much he really loved this place.
Alongside his father, it's very appropriate. And I mean, he was offered $50 million or something to buy the island. He turned it down because his dream was just, he spent so many hours clearing paths and planting trees with his companion who was a fisherman's son. The whole idea was to just give it back as a gift.
If you've ever read The Count of Monte Cristo, Treasure Island, or even Captain Pugwash, this is the place for you.
I mean, the fact that 2 pirates were killed on this island to protect it just makes you think that perhaps maybe there was some treasure buried somewhere here.
There's definitely treasure here. I mean, it hasn't been found yet. This is a massive dig that he just kind of gave up, and there's another smaller dig. I just think it's crazy that this treasure hasn't been found. Like, over so long, hundreds of millions of dollars worth of treasure is buried somewhere in the Seychelles, and people are literally trying to find it, and it has not been found yet. That is wild.
Islanders are used to changing tides, so having this former prison rehabilitated for beach braais is cause for celebration for the locals.
How good is this food?
Perfect. There's something about fresh fish straight out the ocean that just nothing can beat. That taste is just unbelievable.
I don't know what they put on it, some local spice, but it was mouth-watering.
It's minimal. There's not a lot of stuff on it. Local loving, rustic braai. It's just perfect.
Local flavor.
Not much work done.
What a treat in paradise.
Amazing. Of all the places I've been, I think Seychelles still has a very special place in my heart because of the experiences I've had here and because it's as close to paradise as you can get. I think it's very, very special to be back.
Yeah, adding to that, to the experience of coming here with me.
Exactly, and now she gets the experience for the first time with me.
This tiny nation puts on a spectacle out of all proportion with its size. To the Seychelles, we can honestly say nothing compares to you.